Dill, an attorney here in Denver, practices complex litigation, was a prosecutor for the Arapahoe County, named a Colorado super lawyer in 2006. Let's have a big round of applause for Bob Dill. Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you very much, Michael. It's my pleasure to be here, and thank you for inviting me. As Michael said, I'm an attorney. I've practiced law all my life, basically, for the last 30 years. I have principally been involved, our firm has principally been involved in liquor licensing and gaming licensing. And believe it or not, we do more of that than anybody in the state by far. And that's one of the major parts or components of our firm, but we do other things, real estate, contract negotiation, things like that. But the reason I think I'm here to speak is because the framework of the medical marijuana law is essentially the framework that has been taken or grafted, if you will, from the Colorado Liquor Code and the Colorado Gaming Code. This, of course, is a business. It's going to be regulated just like these other areas of regulation. The liquor industry is highly regulated. The gaming industry is even more regulated. As you know, we've got gaming in 3 separate towns: Cripple Creek, Blackhawk, Central City, and those are the only places other than the Indian reservations in southwestern Colorado that gaming exists. But liquor licensing is nothing new. Ever since Prohibition was ended, this state and all the other states have allowed liquor, beer, wine to be served. But we have a different system in the liquor licensing context. We have manufacturers. Let's call it Jim Beam, Coors, Miller, Budweiser. We have wholesalers, all the big wholesale houses that you may or may not recognize in this state, beverage distributors. Lots of other big companies do nothing but warehouse liquor, market it and sell it to the retailers. The retailers can only buy their products from bona fide wholesalers. They can't go outside the chain of distribution. It's not allowed. It's illegal. And of course, the federal government regulates the liquor industry as well. So how does this new business, this new set of laws, compare to liquor law, gaming law, and other racing law, if you will? Well, it's very similar. And what I mean is we have essentially a 2-tier system that will enforce the law and administer the law and regulate the law from this day forward. And what I mean is we have Mr. Matt Cook, who's going to be representing the Department of Revenue, and specifically speaking after I am about what his views are about the law and how it's going to work. I've worked with Matt for a number of years, and I think he's an excellent regulator, administrator, and we look forward to working with him, and you'll find that he's a very competent and fair and honest person to work with. Now, the state is going to have a number of investigators and a number of clerical staff and persons that are going to process your various applications. If you're going to own a center, a dispensary, if you're going to be involved in a grow house, so to speak, or infused products, you're going to have a state license. You and every one of your partners are going to have to get fingerprinted. You're going to have to fill out background forms. You're going to have to basically be investigated to make sure that you qualify as a person of good moral character. So what's a good person of good moral character? It basically means you don't have a felony conviction for the possession, use, or distribution of a controlled substance ever in your life. If you do, it's a big problem. You probably, and I can say not probably, you definitely can't get a license or can't be associated with people who get a license. Or if you served prison time for a felony conviction in the last 5 years, you cannot get a license or be associated with a licensee. There's a bunch of other restrictions, but those are the two, well, actually there's three. You have to be a Colorado resident for 2 years prior to your application to be licensed in the state. And that's a unique requirement. It's found nowhere else in the law, as far as I know, in terms of licensing. You can get a liquor license if you live in Alaska in Colorado, or if you live in Russia, you can get a liquor license, as long as you're 21 years of age or older. And the same holds true with gaming licenses. Everybody and anybody can get a gaming license if they're of good moral character, and they disclose all their partners and their finances adequately to the Division of Gaming and the Limited Gaming Commission in the state of Colorado. The Liquor Enforcement Division, as I mentioned, regulates all liquor licensing. So who has liquor licenses in the state? Well, just think about it. 7-Eleven, Safeway, King Soopers, Conoco, Walmart, Whole Foods, they've all got beer licenses. Some of them actually have liquor store licenses. Who has liquor licenses? Hotels. Every hotel in this state, with a few exceptions that are the budget places that don't have restaurants or room service, they all have liquor licenses. Starwood, Marriott, Hilton, Days Inn, Stonebridge, Residence Inn, Ritz-Carlton, the Broadmoor. Who has liquor licenses if you're in the retail liquor store business? Argonaut, Applejack, Bubbles, Lucas Liquor, Heritage Wines, Chambers Liquor, Total Beverage. Everybody has to have a license. Everybody has to be of good moral character. You have to employ persons of good moral character. And you've got to make full disclosures of your financial investments, your background. And the same is going to be required of each and every one of you in this room that is going to be licensed. So you've got to really understand the depth of the regulation and the complexity of it, because it's not easy. It's not even easy to understand. And I'd recommend that you all get online and get a copy of House Bill 1284 and the Senate Bill 190. If you don't have one, you can go to the Colorado Legislature website, go to the section for bills, and you can download the bill. The medical marijuana bill is 75 pages thick. It's a big one. It's not easy to understand. It's written by lawyers and legislators and staff people, and it's not easy to understand.